Welcome to the Bald Brad Show. Our lead story of the day is regarding Byron Donalds destroying the Democrats as well as the Department of Energy regarding regulating gas stoves. Folks, this is one you're not going to want to miss. Before we jump into any of it, support a true American patriot by hitting that like and subscribe button. Leave us a short, sweet comment down below. The question of the day is, do you think the Democrats as well as the Department of Energy really need to regulate gas stoves? Let us know in the comment section. And if you haven't already, pick yourself up a copy of my book, Trojan Horse, How the Left is Destroying America. You can get it on Walmart, Barnes & Nobles, Amazon, or if you go to baldbrad.com in the description below, you can get yourself a signed copy by me, and I will mail it out to you. Without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Thank you, Chairman. First and foremost, I find it to just be highly disrespectful that the Department of Energy was asked to be here. They're not here. They don't want to answer questions about their own rule, which is going to impact the bottom line and the pocketbook of every American, especially those who own gas stoves currently. And
they're not there.
You know, I just find that to just be ridiculous. They must be taking a cue from the president, who doesn't even want to answer questions, doesn't do press conferences, and just is nowhere to be found. I find that to just really be laughable.
Me too, Byron.
To be honest.
Me too, Byron.
Secondarily, this whole gas stoves thing makes no sense. Mr. Stein, I think you were saying in your testimony that roughly only 4% of the current product in the gas stoves market would actually even comply with the EPA's rule. So if you are a homeowner or even a renter and there are gas hookups into the kitchen, what are they supposed to do? Are they now supposed to retrofit their kitchen for an electrical outlet? Because it's not a normal outlet with electric stoves.
Correct.
It is a specially designed outlet for the electric stove in the kitchen. So I would ask the Department of Energy, if they were actually here, what do you expect the American people to do with respect to their kitchen? Are they going to now retrofit their kitchen to allow for an electric hookup to go in there when the house wasn't designed for that? Mr. Delaski, what's the cost on that?
Byron, let me help you here. I'll be the Democrat. Of course they do. They want you to shell out all this money. This is not the only time we've seen it. We see it with electric vehicles. You see in the state of California, where you're not even going to be able to buy a gas-powered vehicle at some point. I think it's like 2035 or some shenanigans like that. But no, they want you to retrofit all this stuff. They want you to pay for it. Not the only time, not just with electric vehicles, right? Where you had the Department of Energy come out and say, well, just buy an electric vehicle when gas prices are through the roof because everybody has $60,000 just laying around. It's insane. You also see that with solar panels. They want you to retrofit your house with solar panels, and now they're going after your gas stoves. You gotta love it, folks. It's insane. It's insane. Again, the question of the day is, do you think we need to be spending our time on this? Do you think we need to be spending our time on regulating gas stoves? That's the Democrats for you, though, folks. That's the progressive left for you. That's the climate extremists for you.
Is that in your research?
The department has not proposed to ban gas
The
stoves.
department did not propose a ban of gas stoves, but the department is actually going to regulate the fact that most gas stoves on the market would no longer be able to be sold. They won't be allowed to be sold. Only 4%. Do you agree with that, Mr. Delaski?
No, I've seen this movie before. Where
No, Mr. Delaski, this is not a movie. This is reality.
The claim
because
is that
Mr. Delaski, this is reality. Because if you're going to tell, let me bring it to you this way. If you're going to tell my mom that she can't have a gas stove anymore and she can only buy an electric stove, but there's a gas hookup in the kitchen and now the kitchen has to be remodeled, and we were renters, we were not owners, which means the landlord had to go and redo that. Do you know what that's going to do to her livelihood? What happens if the landlord says, "Man, I got to go through these massive retrofits. I'm not paying for that." It falls on the back of the renter, which is what does happen. Does that sound like a movie to you? No, it doesn't. I'm not even asking you a question because this is ridiculous. This is not a movie. These are people's lives. And we have the Department of Energy who doesn't even have the guts, the courage to come in here and answer questions about their proposed rule. They would rather hide in their building down the street than come in here and talk to the American people, talk to the people's representatives.
Nope, they ain't there.
I mean, we do have to fund the Department of Energy. That's coming up in a couple of months. If you can't even come in here and answer questions, why would we fund you? And that's serious.
Damn right.
I'm not even joking around.
Damn right,
This thing
Byron.
is stupid. For black and brown communities, the cost of actually having to go out and buy a new appliance or to retrofit your kitchen is far more dangerous to your bottom line and to your pocketbook. I'm being honest, far more dangerous. I noticed in the ranking member's comments, she never once mentioned what it would cost a black and brown family. She didn't talk about that.
Look, I love this guy. I freaking love this guy, folks. I know all of you do as well. Just, can we hit the like button for Byron here? Byron! He's laying down the law, okay? And I would also like to point out what he's doing here, you guys, is he's utilizing a Democrat tactic here by bringing up race. Because everybody's affected by this, right? I'm a white guy. I'm sure we got all sorts of ethnicities that watch the Bald Brad show. We're all affected if we have to go buy a new appliance. That stuff ain't cheap. And by the way, if you got to retrofit something, that ain't cheap either. Depending on your state, stuff is probably really expensive here. So I love the tactic that he's going here by calling it the Democrats utilizing a tactic that they generally utilize. Love it.
All she's talking about is the fact that the entire Green New Deal agenda may, and I stress may, cut 1/2 of a degree in the world's climate by 2050. And I stress may, because there was a representative from the Department of Energy in the Senate a few weeks ago, and he could not even answer the question that came from Senator Kennedy. He didn't know. He had no answer. He was like you, Mr. Delaski, just going back through the "this is not a movie" or whatever the heck you're saying over there.
Yeah, this guy is so good. I love him, man. Can we get him on the show? I know we're a small channel, but God, this man, a national treasure already. An icon, laying down the law and the hammer.
This stuff is dumb. Listen,
I agree,
what
Byron.
we should be doing is a
agree.
couple of things. Number one, making sure that there is actually cheap and readily affordable energy for our businesses and for our people. Period. Full stop.
Sorry, I got to pause it again because I need your guys. I didn't look this up and I should have. He's talking a lot about kind of private homeowners or renters. How does gas stoves affect the business industry? There's a lot of gas stoves that are utilized in restaurants. I mean, are we just not regulating those and just going kind of after the homeowner? Let me know in the comment section below. Obviously, I'll look it up after I do the recording of this, but I'm really curious. Like, how's it going to affect the business owner? That's to be insane. There's a lot of businesses that run off gas.
Stop. Two, this notion of chasing down the Green New Deal fantasy, which, by the way, half the globe is ignoring. China is not doing this. Russia is not doing this. And the Europeans are backpedaling from this quickly because even the Europeans now understand that they can't live their Green New Deal dreams on gas that they were getting from Russia. They don't.
Remember when they started laughing at Trump? You guys don't want to do that with Russia, okay? They're not good for you. You want the good stuff here, the primo, the premium, the high stuff from America. Don't go with the Russians. Vladimir Putin doesn't care one iota about the Germans, the Italians, the Croatians. He doesn't care at all. I love America, but I love our allies. Don't do this to yourselves, folks. Oh, you're laughing at me. You're laughing at me like CNN does, all the big news outlets. Well, we'll see who's laughing later, folks. When Trump's in his tower, swimming in the green stuff, meaning gold, meaning the money, the good stuff, you'll be sitting there burning wood, cutting down trees, going third world with this. You're a third world country, folks. If you don't have gas, if you don't have power, what are you? What are you? You're going to look like Kim Jong-un. And what's going on in North Korea, don't get me started, because CNN's not going to tell you. It's a witch hunt, what they're doing to me. I'll tell you it's a witch hunt. Folks, Byron is killing it. He's saying the truth, and I love it.
Get to do that anymore. So now Europe is backpedaling. We need to get serious in the United States. And if we want to have an economy where everybody's got to be able to earn money in, and we want to have an energy grid that is sustainable, what we can't do are these crazy demands from the Department of Energy and from the EPA. Last thing I'll say is this. If we follow the president's dream and the other party's dream of electrifying every car and electrifying every stove, you know what we're going to have? We're going to have an electric grid with not enough energy to turn the lights on. Those are the facts. I yield back.
Not just facts, but common sense, my friend. Well done. Byron is back, baby. It's amazing here what they're trying to do. Why don't they focus on the actual necessities of, like he mentioned, building out an electric grid before you start forcing everybody to do all these things? I live in the state of California. Folks, I've lived here for 34 years. It always gets hot in the summer. It doesn't change, by the way. It's going to happen. Around the same time, every year it gets hot. And you know what they do? They throttle our air conditioning. The state throttles the air conditioning because the grid can't handle it. Hey, can you guys turn down your AC? We can't handle it. We can't handle it. And no joke, hand to God, this just happened like last time it got hot. They go, hey, if you have an electric vehicle, do not plug it in. You can only plug it in during these hours if you're lucky. So they want everybody to buy electric vehicles. The grid can't even handle it. What's there now? And it's not even mandated. It's insane. They don't use this. I'm telling you, they don't use. It's an idea that sounds really good, but they don't want to take the time to see if it's actually feasible or realistic. Everybody loves clean energy, but is it realistic? Is it feasible? Is it feasible? Like, what goes on behind that? I mean, we can do a whole episode here on energy and the shenanigans that go into it. Them mining lithium, basically slaves out there doing that work. And you have these electric vehicle companies that are basically supporting it. You don't even have electric vehicle companies supporting them. You got Apple as well doing all sorts of things. So whole nother topic for a whole nother video, but hit that like and subscribe button, folks, if you haven't already. Moving into our second story of the day. Folks, they're already starting to silence the GOP, the Republicans, the social media companies, the big tech. Once again, where did we see this? Oh, the last two elections. When you had Donald Trump v. Hillary, they silenced Donald Trump. When you had Donald Trump v. Joe Biden, who they silenced? Donald Trump. Whenever somebody's running, they also sit there and go against whoever's running against the other person. It's always predominantly the conservatives and Republicans. Hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. So you have Republican presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy, we do have a video here in just one moment, revealed on Wednesday that he had been locked out of his LinkedIn account over opinions expressed about climate activism and the Biden administration's policies with respect to China, raising concerns that social media companies are attempting to control the narrative in the upcoming election. And yes, they are. They've already done it. They're going to continue to do it. But here's from the horse's mouth, Vivek Ramaswamy, smart guy, great books. I think he wrote Woke Inc. Check him out, folks, if you haven't already. Check him out. He's good. He's good. He's not as good as me as Trump, but he's good, folks. Okay, he's one of the best. One of the best and brightest. Let's roll it.
I was a bit surprised to get an email noting that my LinkedIn account had been shut down. I wondered why, because actually a number of friends texted me saying they followed me on LinkedIn. That's how they keep up. They weren't able to find me anymore. And so when I had my team get in touch with LinkedIn, here's the response that we got. I'm not kidding. I'm reading from this. Your account was restricted for sharing content that contains misleading or inaccurate information. They said what it was. One was a video where in the video I said, the CCP is playing the Biden administration like a Chinese mandolin. China has weaponized the woke pandemic to stay one step ahead, and it's working. That was the first offense.
Facts.
The second offense was one where I said that if the climate religion was really about climate change, then they'd be worried about shifting oil production from the U.S. to places like Russia and China. Yet the climate religion and its apostles in the ESG movement have a very different objective.
Facts.
That was my second offense. And apparently my third strike was to say this: the climate agenda is a lie. Fossil fuels are a requirement for human prosperity.
Facts.
Those were my three strikes. That got me censored on LinkedIn. This is staggering. And so then we pushed back, and what do we say? We actually got specifics on how we're actually, hate speech, misinformation, and violence. Those were.
Folks, hate speech, according to the left, is anything that goes against their narrative or they disagree with. Hate is literally subjective. There's some things I think we can come to common ground with as a society as a whole, that certain things are hateful, obviously. But when you're speaking in terms of words, that is subjective. I mean, as somebody that played a sport, there's not many things that actually break my exterior in terms of, wow, that hurt my feelings, that's hateful. Normally I just laugh because I think some people are knuckleheads in what they say. You kind of just brush it off, you move along. Especially doing this, you kind of have to. But, now they're targeting us, folks. And if they could do it to him, if they did it to Trump, number 45, silenced a president of the greatest country God's ever existed, and now they're going after candidates. You think they're going to do it to you? Look at the Bald Brad channel. We have almost 35,000 subs, maybe already 35,000 subs. Thank you, by the way. I freaking love you guys. We got an awesome community. Some of our videos get like 60 views, 35,000 subscribers. I haven't paid some people like pay for subscribers. We don't do that here. No. 35,000 subs. You're telling me we're not being throttled? You're telling me we're not being shadow banned a little bit? People leave comments all the time. I've got unsubscribed. The bell notifications got turned off. I can't find your videos anywhere. And Don't get me going. Don't get me, that's for another video. Don't get me going with the conversations behind YouTube. Like sending, they literally wanted me to screenshot your names, get your account information, and what you said about not seeing my stuff. They wanted me to go through thousands of comments and pull all of it and then send it to them so that they can't do anything about it. The reason why I know is because I sent them proof and they didn't do anything about it. Oh, now we don't have anything on our end. Then why'd you ask me to do all this in the first place? Because they're messing with us, folks. That's a true story, by the way.
The policies that I was actually violating. Now, I got a kick out of this. I'm going to be honest. I'm sure that we're going to get this escalated because I'm a U.S. presidential candidate. We have the connectivity to the people that we need to talk to be able to get my LinkedIn account back. But I'm not bringing this about because it's about me. I'm bringing this up because if they can do it to me, they can really do it to anybody for making statements about the climate change movement and agenda in this country that are grounded in fact, and then express an opinion based on those facts. To make a statement about Biden's relationships with China and criticize his China policies as a result. To say that that's going to be characterized as misinformation, hate speech, and violence per LinkedIn's terms of service. This is a Microsoft-owned company. It shows what's going on in this country.
Oh, yeah.
These aren't really the actions of private companies. These are so-called privately held companies or publicly traded private companies that are doing the work of the government through the back door, silencing speech that the government would never dare censor, could never censor under the Constitution, but use the back door of tech companies to get it done instead.
He is not wrong. One bit. You're seeing some effed up stuff happening right now in this country, folks. I mean, look at that face, huh? Vivek, look at that face. That's a man that tells you he's pissed. And he's being nice about it. But if they go for him, they're going to go for you.
That's even more dangerous than direct government censorship in many ways.
Oh, yeah.
Because it is a hybrid of corporate power and state power together, doing what neither one of them could do on their own. That's really what this is about. So I'm not worried about me.
Scary as hell.
I'll get my LinkedIn account back, I'm sure. And if not, I'll still be fine. Believe me. I'm doing it because it's a symptom of how deep this cancer has run in our country. And believe me, we will stop at nothing in restoring free speech in our country, in restoring internet freedoms in our country. I've been writing about these issues for several years. I was actually one of the first people in this country to expose the way government was colluding with big tech to get done through the back door its dirty work. And so it seems like karma that they've come back and actually punished me for it in the form of censoring my speech about climate change and about China policy. But believe me, I'm not going to stay censored. We're going to get this done through the national revival that we're leading starting next year.
That's right, baby. That's right. Folks, we got a deep bench here on the GOP. You got Trump. Okay, you got Trump in the mix, the number one. Then you got Ron DeSantis. He's good too. And then we got Vivek Ramaswamy. He's good too. You got Tim Scott. He's good too. I mean, our bench is deep. You want to know who the Democrats have, you guys? You want to know who they have? Here, I'll act out who they have. That was Joe Biden. That's Joe Biden being chauffeured out in a gurney. I'm going to check pressure. That's Joe Biden. I don't know where I am. Where am I going? What day is it? Am I the president? Who are you? I'm Jill Biden. I'm your wife. Who? Jill? Hillary? Jill? Hillary? Jill? Kamala? Come on, sleepy time. Hey, come on. They don't have anybody. And if they're going for Vivek, they're going to go for you. We're going to see what happens. At least we have Twitter this go around, you guys. At least we have Elon Musk that has Twitter. At least some of the voice is going to come out, but they're going to say it's Russian. It's the Russians again, right? When that whole thing came out, there was nothing there. Folks, remember all of this stuff because the election's coming up in a year. All of our friends, I would hope some of you have Democrat friends as I do. Majority of my friends probably are Democrats out there because I live in California. Look, they said all this stuff. They were pushing and peddling the whole Russian thing. Oh, he's backed by the Russians. The Russians this, Russian that. You know, we'll actually see. We'll actually see, okay, what they're going to come up with. We already know it's going to be the bigot thing, right? The hate speech thing. You're racist, you're sexist, you're xenophobes, you're anti-gay, all this other ridiculous stuff that we're not. Keep it in the back of your head, folks, because it's going to get caught up. Well, moving into our last story of the day, Target goes woke. Target goes broke. Target stock market value takes, as the recording of this, it's way more, by the way, takes a $6 billion hit. No, it's not an M, you guys, because my millions and billions sound similar. $6 billion hit since backlash over Pride collection. I'm hearing it's way more than 6 billion right now. Way more than 6 billion. So Target witnessed a $6 billion decrease. You go woke, you go broke. In the retail behemoth's market capitalization amid consumer backlash over a designer featured in the company's most recent Pride Month collection who appears to have created products with satanic imagery. This is insane stuff, folks. I'm not saying to shut down Target. If we're in a free market capitalist society, these corporations should be able to produce product that they see fit. And then us as the consumer would purchase product that we want. And so we just won't purchase your product because we don't support what you're pushing and the ideology that you're pushing. The company's stock prices have declined $152 on May 19th, the day before activist Scarlett Johansson posted a thread showing that Target had hired the artist to design items for the store. Went from 152, folks, to 139 on the 25th, marking an 8.5% decrease over the course of a single week. Nobody will be fired over this, folks. If anything, you get promoted, right? We saw this with Bud Light. I mean, they are living Bud Light's reality right now. You would think, and they did do this, by the way, you would think you look at Bud Light going, oh, crap, this might happen to us. So Target, what they did was they started removing this apparel and they started pushing it to the back of the store so it wasn't the first thing that you saw hitting you smack in the face when you walk into Target brick and mortar stores. So they were still selling it. They were just pushing it towards the back so you'd have to actually go find it. It says here the firm's market capitalization, which refers to the total value of a publicly traded company's outstanding shares, fell, oh my God, these are big numbers, 70.4 billion to 64.4 billion over the same period, and it's still going down. This thing is spiraling down, folks. The artist that was hired, I guess it's Apralin or whatever the hell, I can't even pronounce that. It's Abralle. Hired by Target to create the controversial items, had designed a mini messenger bag with the slogan, "We belong everywhere," a tote bag with the phrase, "Too queer for here," and a sweatshirt, I almost said a sweetheart, a sweatshirt, basically emblazoned with a cure transphobia. Wasn't even sure if I was reading that right. Cure transphobia, not trans people. What the hell? For a nationwide retailer. Other products featured on the artist's website, which were not sold by Target, include a t-shirt with the phrase, "Satan respects pronouns." What? Satan respects pronouns. This is what they're peddling, folks. And not just towards adults, right? A lot of this stuff is geared towards your children. A lot of it is geared towards your children. And a design of a skeleton draped in a rainbow color that says, "Trans witches for abortion." Oh my God. I don't know if that design is geared towards children, but the irony of that, the fact that literally the progressive left are for killing children and babies to the point of birth, by the way, like it's coming out of the canal, they're still for abortion. And the tenacity to put that on like a design, a shirt or whatever geared towards children is insane. It's sick. It's seriously sick. It's one of those things, if I were to do an analogy of it, it's like eating chicken in front of a chicken. It's that disgusting. It's like that same thing. Quote, "Satanists don't actually believe in Satan. He is merely used as a symbol of passion, pride, and liberty," the artist said. What an idiot. What an idiot. Should we expect anything less, though? The artist said on his website, which now appears to be temporarily shuttered, "He means to you what you need him to mean. So for me, Satan is hope, compassion, equality, and love." Wow. These are how these people think, folks. These are how these people think. Look, I'm a Christian. This is insane. All right, this is nuts. Satan is hope, compassion, and equality. No, Satan is evil. Satan is destructive. Satan is a destroyer. He's none of the things of which you just claimed he was. So naturally, Satan respects pronouns. He loves all LGBT plus people. If you're an LGBT plus person, whatever you are, that is not a good thing. Because there's some people that struggle with being part of the LGBT community, but they're Christians and Catholics and all those other things, and they're struggling just as everybody struggles with sin. And this is so head spinning. It's gross. It's gross. Not the LGBT side of it. The side of that he's saying Satan respects and loves LGBT plus people. Target provoked additional controversy with a female swimsuit marketed as tuck-friendly and extra crotch coverage, permitting men who call themselves women to wear the items. Beyond the swimsuit, which only came in adult sizes, all right, well, hey, at least they're not making that towards children. I'm just trying to play a little bit of devil's advocate here. No pun intended. Target unveiled products for kids and babies, such as, here we go. So you know it's going to have to go towards the kids at some point. That's that whole community. That's the whole trans community. That's that whole LGBTQ community right now. Before they just left it to the adults, right? You do a gay pride parade. You do your thing. People leave you alone. You do your thing. Hey, whatever. More power to you. Just leave me alone. But here's the problem. You're targeting and going after our kids. Target unveiled products for kids and babies, such as onesies and small shirts with phrases like, just be you and feel the love, as well as rainbow-colored leggings, tutu skirts, jumpers, and a variety of children's books. I mean, how many times have we heard about the children's books in school systems and libraries with pornographic images telling you to masturbate and do all these things? It's nuts. You gotta be aware of it. The company made calls to managers and senior directors last week amid the backlash, reportedly telling the employees to make their Pride Month displays less prominent. This is what I mentioned. Less prominent for fear of provoking another Bud Light situation. Well, I think you got it. A reference to the beer brand's plummeting sales. Bud Light's still trying to figure it out. Bud Light, you guys, I wasn't even going to mention this. I wasn't going to talk about it. Bud Light is sponsoring Pride events right now. They're sponsoring 3 big Pride events. You would think, like, if this was working, right? And for those that are on audio, we have a phenomenal audio section, folks. If you go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that stuff, you can find us anywhere and everywhere. So if you can't watch it, you can listen in the car, with headphones, run, shop, whatever you need to do. Just go, if you don't want to go to Target, or shop with Target. Shop with Target. All right, just pass by all this stuff here. Get yourself some good merch at Target, I suppose. Listen to us in Target. But the point I'm making here is Bud Light is sponsoring Pride events amidst the backlash of them losing $billions, like billions of dollars, and they haven't learned their lesson still. You would think they would go rogue and go dark for a bit, like, hey, you know what? Let's just pull it back. Let's really pull it back, reel it back, folks. No. They're leaning into it. Bud Light plummeted nearly 25% in the week ended May 6th, folks. So, hey, these corporations, I don't know. I don't know who's running them. But if somebody lost me $6 billion, you bet your butt they're fired. Not just them, the CEO, like we heard from Kevin O'Leary and others, are ousted so quick because they thought this would be a good idea. I understand the business component side of it in terms of you're trying to reach a bigger audience so that you can grow your sales. Because maybe at one point you weren't reaching that audience. So if you gear product and services towards that one area of which you weren't meeting before, then you just increased hopefully your market space or your market area of whatever consumer products you're producing. So I understand like the business side of it, but the other side of the business side of it is that you're going to piss a lot of people off and they're not going to buy or shop at all at Target. They'll all go to Walmart or somewhere else, or go to Kohl's, or I don't know what's in your area, but hell, they'll go somewhere else. They'll go somewhere else, folks. So here's the latest backlash. You go woke, you go broke. That is our Friday episode. If you haven't already, pick up your copy of Trojan Horse, How the Left is Destroying America. You can get it on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, Walmart, or get yourself a signed copy. I will sign it myself. I will actually put it in the box myself and ship it myself to you. You can get that at baldbrad.com. All the links are in the description below. Hit that like and subscribe button, folks, if you haven't already. Leave us a comment down below, and we'll see you tomorrow here on The Bald Brad Show.